News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann here on ONAM and FM on Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. My name's Joe Callahan, and let's say hello to the Coffee Ann panel today. Here's Romeo Berthium. Hi, Romeo.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to you. Melissa Murray's here. Good morning to you, Melissa.
Good morning, Joe.
And we're also being joined by Woonsocket City Council President John Ward. Good morning, John.
Briefly, good morning, everyone.
He's here to tell us, or to talk to us about tonight's Woonsocket City Council meeting and what's on the agenda that's going to affect you.
Well,
So, John, tell us what's
be happy
up.
to. The first thing I need to do
Yes.
is a sincere apology to the firefighters for the city because they have ratified from their end, voted on the contract proposal that is supposed to be before the council. We received a financial impact finally, and it should have been placed on this agenda for the council to hold its public hearing and ratify, and it was not on this agenda. My apologies to them. I don't see anything in the way of finishing this up, and it will be on the next available agenda.
Okay.
Let's get that out of the way.
All right.
First thing is we have Fast Eddie's is going to be looking to extend their business outside to the left side of the building. And
You
then
mean have
we'll just-
outside seating, or?
I would imagine it's going to have to do with some outside seating,
Okay.
that nature. They have a space, there's a building aside them that's sort of set back from the road, and there's a space there, I guess, that they want to put to good use, and
Okay.
I'm sure it will be given fair and appropriate consideration.
All right.
And then there's the usual list of licenses that are coming up for renewal. I think when we last looked, there may have been one or two liquor licenses that were still out there with issues, for which letters were delivered on the 1st of December when they expired. So there shouldn't be much on those licenses. The rest of it's just some regular standard reporting that comes to us. We have a report from the police department on their what's called the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant, JAG grants, which is the special use of some funds from the Justice Department for specified purposes that are allowed for them to do work for the police department. Then we have a bunch of unfinished business that's coming to us. We have some, there was an ordinance that had been first proposed and tabled for tax stabilization program for a supermarket development in Woonsocket. I think that's still going to get some discussion, and it'll be for a first passage anyway, so it needs some discussion.
All right.
The drainage easement, I think some of the things that Garrett mentioned in his report in the news, the drainage easement, acceptance of a landscape license having to do with the linear park along Truman Drive. And then there's an expenditure of ARPA funds for a video security system within the finance department, which, I don't know, having worked in a finance department that had a video security system and a panic button, absolutely makes sense for a finance department if they're handling large amounts of money and checks. And ordinance expenditure of funds to purchase the user licenses for the body cams that the police department should be and will be, I hope, soon wearing. Then there's an amendment to a Parks and Recreation ordinance, which is an annual event, which I think we're trying to figure out how to make it permanent for the off-street parking for those people who don't have off-street parking. And the purchase and all right, we already have the purchase and installation of the panic we discussed. Then there's some new business. They want to use some ARPA funds as matching funds with the state's Municipal Road and Bridge Fund Program, $854,224, as a matching fund using ARPA funds. And then we're transferring from funds from the general fund health insurance account to the Human Services Aging Well account. And that one is a problem because it's been something of a battle I hope will never happen again, but the Aging Well gets funds every year, and it used to be coming out of the annual appropriation in the budget, and then it gets started, people trying to start to move it to the CDBG fund, and then the ARPA fund, and the problem with those federal funds is when you spend money out of those federal funds, there is so much detailed reporting requirement for numbers, and I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of paperwork involved. It's a bureaucracy that's almost makes the programs not worth it. We've actually, when I was in Lincoln, we actually experienced some programs. When we looked at the burden of bureaucracy that came with it, we said, yeah, no thank you. Don't want it.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's not worth the effort put into the small amount of money involved. Well, the similar programs have happened with Aging Well at the Senior Center. And so this is an attempt to take it back out of the ARPA funds and put it into the general fund so that they can just do their job and not have to worry about this crazy reporting nonsense that's necessary with federal funds. Don't want to get lost here. Then two of them are authorization of cancellation of taxes. Excuse me, there's that nagging cough again. They're fairly substantial. One's about $19,000 for some equipment that some company moved out of the city at some point, and we've still been sending them a bill for, so they're going to get a credit of about $19,000. None of this has been paid, so it's not considered revenue in the past. It's just a receivable. The other one is cancellation of taxes, about $35,000. It's important to mention. It's been a nuisance to me that we've carried all of these really old receivables.
Yep.
Good Lord. There's that
You're
cough,
right.
Joe.
You got that persistent cough.
And it's about $35,000, but it's for things like automobiles, taxes for cars, and they're older than 10 years old, and tangible taxes longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
And the fact is, the state, thanks you, the state has a law that says there's a statute of limitations on tangible personal property taxes for automobiles and tangible taxes.
And you're past it. Right?
It's 10 years, and we're long past it.
Yeah, okay.
And yet they kept carrying these amounts on the books as though they were going to be collected. But in this case, it's about $35,000 worth, and I want to commend the tax assessor for going through the records and really working hard to clean some of this stuff out. It doesn't affect our cash. We don't have to refund anybody anything. It's just writing it off because we're never going to get it. It's not even legal to go after it. Then there's a resolution that's to indicate an expression of support or not to sell city-owned land at East School Street to Civic Builders for construction of a charter school for Rise Prep Mayoral Academy. That one's just a resolution. It's a statement of intent. Frankly, I'm personally still struggling with that because I don't think the site's very good for that use, and it's too small, in my opinion. But in any case, I'm getting all kinds of relief here. In any case, in order to sell city property, there was an ordinance put on the books many years ago, about 2017, I think, that requires us to advertise it, put it out for competitive bidding. You can't just sell to a selected person or group. It has to be put out competitively according to ordinance. And so that's still got to be worked out with the administration. And then finally, the authorizing the finance director to bypass competitive bidding for architectural services. What that relates to is actually the facing of the building, commercial building. Romeo's an historian. He knows all about these names of the buildings downtown.
Commercial is
Commercial
good.
block is a series of storefronts across one single commercial building.
Yeah.
And upstairs from that is the education center that was put in collaboration with the state. And the state had been working with a company called ZDS Architect and Interiors, and they're looking to do a redo of the front facing of the building, and there's an amount of money available to improve the facade that's coming through the state, and this is to allow us to continue to use this architectural service in order to get that accomplished. And I expect that will be happily supported. And then Councilman Mancieri is going to be speaking about certain matters. As I referenced earlier, the solicitation of bids for real estate brokerage firm, Worrell Street Reconstruction, that's been out there for years being discussed, the status of the Hospital Trust Building, veterans events and the War on Terror. And then I'm going to ask the council to add two things. One is I was informed that there are currently 5 complaints by former employees who had either been terminated or resigned over their payments of their separation pay for either regular hours worked or accrued vacation or other benefits that are supposed to be dealt with in separation. And there's 5 complaints currently pending at the Department of Labor and Training against the previous administration. I would like to ask the solicitor to have a closed session with us to discuss those complaints, because I don't think any one of them is so significant that it's overwhelming. I think it's indicative of what has been alleged by former council people, that the tone in City Hall was what I would consider unacceptable, and in some cases some of the things they did were illegal and need to be fixed, related to these salaried workers who are not in the union, and apparently got taken out of the classification system, even though I'm pretty sure the charter requires classification for anybody that's not a director. But I'm going to work on that today, and I'm going to have an answer for that. And I'm going to bring that up to discuss and maybe ask the solicitor to prepare for a meeting with the council and the mayor to solve this problem. And then the last one is I want to have a discussion with the council and the mayor, and so people can be informed, and we can maybe initiate some strategy around what to do about the closing of the YMCA.
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
That one's disturbing.
Well,
Specifically,
the Y is still going to own the building, right? Or are they giving it to the city?
The Y is going. No. This isn't the city's building to sell. This is the Y's building, and they're going to do with what they think is appropriate.
They may want to sell it to
there
the
are
city.
many people, and I don't know about that.
Okay.
There may be some developer. See, to me, there's 2 parts to this. One is the building that's got the pool in it,
Yep.
the old
other
post
building,
office,
yeah.
and then the other building across the street. Now, currently they're developing apartments in the old CYO Center building, and it would seem natural that there would be an extension of that, maybe an interest in the guy that's doing the development there to acquire that building and do the same kind of thing there. So you don't know.
Right.
Somebody may be interested in developing that into some other use. However, the pool
Is an issue.
it's not an issue. It's an
but it's
opportunity,
there.
maybe.
Yeah.
I want to see if it's an opportunity.
All right.
And maybe the city or some other group or someone will have an interest in finding a way to preserve that and put it to good use, because you don't just want to throw it away.
How about Beacon Charter School?
So I'm not going to speculate.
All right. I can speculate.
I just think it's something that we should have a public conversation about, so
Yep.
that people can think about ideas about how to deal with that issue, so that it doesn't go to waste.
Okay.
Because I think they've made a big investment into that pool. It's a nice pool. I hope it doesn't require excessive costs to maintain, and maybe there is someone out there who has an interest. That's a good thought. Maybe Beacon Charter School would have the ability to acquire it, although I guess they're sort of working on another investment across the street. But, but it would fit well together with their campus location.
That's right. It's right there.
And so it may have a benefit to them.
All right.
And there are other small rooms in that building besides the pool, so it could be potentially useful to someone, and we should let them find out, get the conversation going.
All right. I know we don't want to keep you here too long, John, but I do have one question for you, because I know it came up at the last council meeting, I believe, where the Woonsocket Warrior cheerleaders came and did their tag day.
Yes,
And did that get all approved?
it did.
Okay. Last Friday.
I know. Last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
But at night.
Saturday and Sunday, they were out there.
5:00 at night,
Yes.
pitch black. I go, I think it's the cheerleaders. I don't know. It's too dark. I'm like, I don't think they're supposed to be out there at that time of day.
They weren't.
Okay, so you know all
They're
about
not.
this.
We knew all about it. That's
right.
why actually a certain council member contacted them and said, you have to get the permission to do this. It's not safe. You're not allowed to have the kids out there doing this.
Right.
It's supposed to be adults. It's really an unsafe condition after dark. That's why even when Goodfellows used to go out on the street corners, it was only until 3 p.m.
Yeah.
You don't stay out there when it gets dark out. And again, it's no children are supposed to be doing this.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what
one
was
of the things
happening,
that
yeah.
brought this whole thing about with tag day permits and regulations had to do with the fact that what started out as Poppy Day for veterans turned into Little Leagues and baseball players 10, 11, 12 years old walking among the cars. And it's like, no, this doesn't work. So they put it into an ordinance to say that it's got to be adults.
Who does the enforcing? Would that be the police?
The police department does.
Okay.
And the first day, actually, that Friday, they had gone to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it worked, and it got a little out of hand with that group.
All right.
They need to be
As long as you're aware of it.
guided back down to the straight and
Yeah.
narrow. But they were looking to do some major fundraising quickly, and
Well, I understand what they're trying to do, but I'm like, geez, this is dangerous.
yes,
so dark.
very, very dangerous.
Little kids in dark clothing trying to collect money. And I don't think I didn't see it until someone had a sign that had glitter on it, and it happened to catch the headlight. Oh, they're there. I'm like, oh, this is
Yes.
scary.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Should not have been done.
All right, John. Well, thanks for the information, and have
My
a good
pleasure.
Have a good meeting
Y'all
this
have
evening.
a great show. I'll see you on Wednesday, and go out there and make it a great day. We'll be on the air this evening for all your listening pleasure.
All right, 7:00, right?
Thank you for the water. Thank
All
you
right.
for the lozenge.
You're welcome.
7 o'clock.
Hope
we'll
it
be
works
there.
for you. Very good. Okay, more of the Coffee and program coming your way. Stay tuned.
For centuries, the lighthouse at Castle Hill has been a trusted guide to safer harbors ahead. And like the rock-solid foundation it's built on, at Bank Rhode Island, we're proud of our financial strength, which customers trust to help them manage and achieve all of their personal, investment, and business banking financial goals. Bank on our strength. Bank RI. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Melissa Murray.
I'm Rich Lane.
I'm Joe Callahan.
And I'm Dave Richards.
Come and see us at American Legion Post 85 on River Street in Woonsocket, Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. for Celebrity Bartenders for the Milk Fund.
There'll be celebrities there?
We'll be serving adult beverages for 2 hours with the assistance of a professional tips-trained bartender, and all the tips that you donate will go to the 2023 Milk Fund Appeal.
It's 2 hours of tipping a few and tipping for milk.
This Tuesday, December 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. at American Legion Post 85 on River Street in Woonsocket.
It'll be a ton of fun, and we'll all still get home in time for Love Boat. We'll all see you there.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
WOON Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM.
It's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthium and Melissa Murray. We thank John Ward for stopping by, talking about tonight's Woonsocket City Council meeting. All right, Romeo.
Did you want to talk about it?
Patriots. Oh,
You
my
wanna
gosh.
talk about it?
Now, this is what I don't get.
Yeah.
People are still all over Bailey Zappi saying how lousy he is. I said, did I watch a different game? First of all, he was, I don't want to say 100% better because they didn't win, but 50% better. Because let me ask you this. How many interceptions did Bailey Zappi throw yesterday? None.
And compared to
How many- and how many-
Jones,
that's right.
Yeah.
How many bad decisions did Zappi make? Well, maybe about 2. But he's young and he's still learning. This is only his 3rd game that he has started.
And
So
there's a
he's-
little bit of pressure there, I think.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at once again the offensive line is awful. And Juju Smith-Schuster keeps falling down. Ramondre Stevenson got hurt.
Yep.
So we had to rely on Ezekiel Elliott, who did okay,
Yep.
but nothing spectacular. And I can't remember the other wide receiver's name.
I can't either.
And they threw him and Hunter Henry runs the wrong routes and like that. And it was like, well, we didn't score because these people don't know what they're doing. It seems.
Well, the winning team only scored 2
Field goals.
field goals, not even a touchdown.
Do you know that not either team got into the red zone yesterday?
No, I didn't.
How lousy! The Chargers were lousy too.
Well, as you know, because I'm very proud, my grandson was playing at Gillette the other day.
Yeah, should have played Sunday.
His team won. And,
for him.
Usually in the stands, there might be a couple, officials from the Patriots
they
organization.
come out and take a look.
Maybe some of the Patriots players.
Yeah.
You never know. Hopefully they stuck around after the game to get some tips from these high school kids. And by the way, talking about KP, they won the Super Bowl. Perfect record. Forgot to mention.
That's great.
My not my hometown, but my resident town, Uxbridge. They did the same thing.
They won
They're
in the Super
undefeated.
Bowl?
They won.
Oh, good for them.
Congratulations to them. And of course, they're in a different division. They're in 7. My grandson was in 2, but it's a amazing. And getting back to the Patriots, terrible they are.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's
I was
it's
thinking
pretty
about
bad.
you. I said to my wife, I said, look at this, not even we can't even get a field goal.
Well,
and
if
the
you
other
notice-
team can't even get a touchdown.
Yeah. If you noticed,
Yeah.
Belichick twice went for it on 4th down rather than try to kick a field
Yes,
goal.
they did.
Which means he's got no confidence in his kicker.
Yeah.
And so then they didn't, and both
Well-
times they didn't make it.
Well, they were pretty
on 4th
close
down.
to the first down.
Yeah, but they didn't.
I
they
know,
still didn't make
I know,
it.
I know that. But before
But now they play on Thursday night.
Yes,
this
they
week.
do.
So short week, and they play in Pittsburgh. And
are they playing again next Sunday too?
no,
No, they'll take a break.
yeah, they'll play this Thursday,
They have 4 days and that's it.
and then they'll play again on the 17th.
And where are they playing?
I don't know. I just look 1 week ahead. So
No, where are they
this
playing
Thursday
Thursday?
they're in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
So Zappy should still start and try it again. I also noticed that the cameras didn't scan the sidelines looking for Mac Jones at all.
No,
And didn't show him at all. They hardly even spoke about him, which was
they probably did, but the director didn't.
it put it on.
Yeah,
Well, there he
exactly.
is. Do you want us to use him? No, go away from him. So,
I mean,
so
yeah.
did they? Obviously they didn't play good
Yep.
because they didn't score.
Yep.
But I'm looking at just other things, and I'm looking at Zappy's technique. I'm looking how he's throwing the ball, and I'm looking for his decision making.
Yep.
I thought all of it was so much better
Yep.
than Mac Jones. So I was actually happy with the way things went, except the loss. Right? If we could, it would have been nice to get a point out of this game. So.
Well, this season is obviously a wash, so they're
Right,
just
2
going to
and
have
10,
to
yeah.
try to, hone their skills for next year and
Yep.
possibly scout some people.
Well,
and say,
things went well because the
Yeah.
Cardinals won,
Yeah.
which means we have a better
Yeah.
draft choice next year.
Somebody said,
okay.
I think it was my son. He said they're probably deliberately losing so they can get
They're
first.
not deliberately.
You don't
losing.
think so?
There's
You don't
there's
agree with that?
There's no
Yeah.
way that they do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Embarrass. They
How do
get
you
shut
know?
out at home. Well, I don't. But just going from
Yeah.
a guy that played
Yeah.
sports growing up on some pretty bad teams, you
Yeah.
never went out there to try to
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
So we did get a note written in 766-1240. The Patriots got shut out at home. Embarrassing. Enough said. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
and I actually even thought about going to the game. And
Really?
yes, because tickets were as low as $25 to be in the 300 section. Yeah, you're gonna be high up, but you can't get tickets for $25
Right.
to go to a Patriots game. And I thought, but now it's raining. And it was just such a miserable day yesterday.
Watching
It was
TV.
a miserable
Weather-wise, so I'm
yesterday.
like,
It was.
I don't think so.
What?
So I stayed away, and I felt bad for the people that were there. Most of them are season ticket holders, and
Yep.
they paid for it already. So we're gonna go to the game, and it was so dull. When the game is played just between the two 20-yard lines, the entire game, it is dull.
Yeah.
It's like, this is
And wet.
just a snooze-
And like you
nuisance.
said, it was pouring.
Oh yeah, they said
And it was
let
just
up
so
and it
raw
roar and
last
cold
night.
and windy and
Yep, it was
Did you see
horrible.
speaking of that? See that down at Pittsburgh? They actually stopped the game twice. It was raining too hard, raining and windy.
Very
And it was-
unusual for football.
It is unusual,
They don't
but
usually
so
stop.
bad that they told
Yeah.
the fans to get out of your seats and go into cover. It is just so bad, and they stopped it for like 15 minutes. Then they played a little more, and then they stopped it for an hour. It was
My wife was
really
slowly
poor.
becoming a football fan, probably largely due to my grandsons. We've been to so many games. She's finally starting to learn all the intricacies of
Oh,
the
yeah,
game,
it takes a
which
while.
it does. It's a very complicated game.
I
I
still
tell you
haven't
that.
picked it up.
She said to me a couple of weeks, yesterday. So are they going to play anyway? It's going to rain. I said, are you kidding me? Football never stops.
well, apparently it did yesterday. And I thought it might have been
Yeah,
snowing
yeah.
in Pittsburgh, and
Yeah.
and that's why they stopped it.
They-
Or if there's heavy lightning, usually they
Yeah.
stop. They said no, it was just the rain.
Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
like the wimpy baseball plays.
Yeah, that's right. So keeping it on sports, and,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've heard about this, Melissa,
Yeah.
but it may come up to you when you have to go back to the State House. Now, there's that guy that wanted to save McCoy Stadium,
Yep.
and he I don't know where he's gone, and maybe he figured out that it's way too much money to try to save
Pie
it.
in the sky.
But
Yeah.
now there's somebody else that has come in and doesn't want to save McCoy Stadium. He wants to do something completely different. And he wants to build I think it's a 5,000 seat stadium on the campus of Rhode Island College. This is going to do a couple of things. One, it's good for the baseball team at Rhode Island College. Two, the Rhode Island High School baseball championships are already played there. Used to be played at McCoy. They moved it to Rick.
Yeah.
Right now, the all they got for stands there are just your basic aluminum stands. I don't know even where they found them. They go, if we bring in this 5,000 seat stadium, we can bring in what's called a draft league team, kind of like a single A team.
Wow.
Of college players
Yep.
that are looking to keep playing so they can get noticed by scouts and move up.
To
I'm
double
like,
A. Yeah.
I go, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
And you remember Mike Reynolds? Mike Reynolds used to own
Yep.
the racquetball court.
Yep.
This is where Mike went. He went down to Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
General manager of the Lancaster Barnstormers. It's a. I don't think it's a single A team. It's just below that. It's
Yes,
kind of what
that's right.
they want to do here in Rhode Island. I said this is a great idea. I love this idea. However, now here comes in the state because it's on the campus of Rhode Island College, and I know the State House got to get involved. I quickly read about it. I don't know how much money is involved from the state, although I understand it's not a lot, but I don't, that's a relative term.
Right.
Have you heard about this at all?
Only through you,
Just
because
through-
we're not in
okay.
session right now.
All right.
I'm sure that it will come to the finance committee.
Yeah.
Those things always do.
Well,
We'll get into the weeds on it. I can tell you that, our forecast for the next couple of years when those ARPA funds and all that federal money runs out is not good. So I'm curious to know. I'm interested to learn how much they would want
Yeah.
from the state.
Yeah.
It really depends.
It all
Yeah, it's going to
boils
be a
down-
tough next couple of years.
Always boils down to money, huh?
Yeah.
Always.
It does.
But they don't. What's good is the Rhode Island College field is already great. They take care of it very well because they play the high school baseball championship. So they don't have to do anything with the field. We just got to come in and close it in with permanent seats, press box. I guess you got to put in some offices like that. Another thing is parking. Parking is not the greatest at Rhode Island College.
No, it's not.
But it's there. Oh, the other good part about it, the games will be played in the summertime. So the college kids are not on campus. So they actually said the schedule for that particular league they're looking at June through August. So no April and May games when it's 30 degrees and cold.
Yeah.
So people will actually come because it's warm.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of the state.
Yeah.
You can't do this at URI because people from here won't go down there because it's too far. At least they think it's too far. For a baseball game?
Well,
No.
this is Rhode Island.
That's right. It's way too far. But you put it at Rick.
Right, I know.
You put it at Rick, and
Yeah.
it's a 15 to 20 minute drive. Much, 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 much better.
Yeah.
I think 20 minutes is that threshold for the
That's
average
right
Rhode
there.
Islander, right? We don't even go by miles.
Oh,
We
no, it's by minutes.
It's,
How long
it's
does it take-
25 minutes away.
long
I
does
don't
it
want to
take
know.
to-
It's too far.
How long does it take to get there? 20 minutes.
Now, Rick is your alma mater, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you play for them?
No.
Okay.
Now,
You seem to know a lot about the
You've
baseball
got to. Well, I used to go see some of the games.
Okay.
You've got to know your limitations. And I went to go see some of the games, and I said, I'm glad I didn't try out.
Yeah.
These guys, even though they were Division III, they are a lot better than me, and I can tell they're a lot better than me. So I know I wouldn't have made the team if I went out. It would have been embarrassing.
Wow.
So, but I would love to see a stadium there. I think that's a great idea.
First I hear about it.
Okay. Well, look for it because it may come up. Hopefully, the wheels keep rolling.
Yeah, this could be exciting.
Talking baseball, they sold the
Worcester
Blue
Red Sox.
Sox.
Yes, they have.
Did you talk about that last week?
A little bit.
Yeah. Who purchased it?
There's a team called Diamond Holding Company or something like
Okay.
that. They already own it's either 25 or 26 other minor league baseball teams. This is what they do.
Okay.
Of which they own the Portland Sea Dogs and the Salem Red Sox.
Wow.
They already own a couple of minor league teams within the Red Sox
Is this
system.
their
Now
first-
they own a third.
Is this their first AAA team? As far as you know?
No. And so that's what's odd.
Yeah.
Is if the sales goes through, it's got to be
Yeah.
approved by Major League Baseball. The Worcester Red Sox would at one point will play like the Norfolk Tides. Mm-hmm. They're owned by the same company. Like, well, that's
Yeah.
odd, isn't that
Strange, yeah.
Isn't that odd that
It is.
that it's like that? But they have their own management people down in Norfolk, Virginia, and they have their own management people here in Worcester. So okay, we just happen to have the same person signs our paycheck, I guess. So okay.
And the players on these teams are really looking to be recognized by the majors. to move up to the majors. That's their main goal.
And they're paid by the major league teams. So.
They are, huh? Okay. I figured that.
So I'm just seeing a lot of negative comments once again.
Of course.
That the Worcester Red Sox were sold, and it's the misplaced hate, is what I call it, is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're throwing it all at Larry Lucchino, and I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I'll have to see if you agree with me. How the real person to not like in this whole situation, and it's not the governor, former governor, I should say, and not the former Speaker of the House, Nicholas Mattiello.
Okay.
Well, they do have a lot of blame, but anyway,
I had to get that in, right?
but who the real person you should be hating?
Yeah.
And people are gonna go. I'm ready for the audible gasp. How dare you say that?
Okay. I'm
Ready?
listening.
Mrs. Ben Mondor.
All right. Because
you know why?
she made the decision to sell, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
She said after Ben died,
Yeah.
she owned the team for about a year.
Yeah.
Of course, she's in her upper 70s or whatever she was at
Probably
the time.
80s.
Could be, and said, "Okay, it's time to sell.
Yeah.
I don't want to really run this team. I'm retired and I don't know anything about baseball. So, okay, it's for sale." So here comes Larry Lucchino and his group of investors. Okay, we offer you. I don't know the numbers. I'm going to have to use easy numbers. Here's $50 million. We want to buy the Pawtucket Red Sox. And this is what people forget. Mike Tamburo and Lou Schweckheimer also put together a group of investors. We want to buy the team. Well, how much are you offering? $40 million, let's just say. Okay, now her lawyer down in Florida, where she moved, just looks at both proposals and says, these people are paying more, we're going with them. Now, if she had sold it, this is my opinion, if she had sold it to Mike and Lou, they'd still be playing baseball at McCoy Stadium. That's just my opinion.
For the lower price.
Yes, but
Yeah.
she went for the higher price, and went for the bigger bucks, and that's why Larry got the team.
Did she have any kids? Did they have
No,
any?
they had no kids.
That's the issue, too. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Kids that have probably continued
Yeah.
ownership. Yeah.
but no one's mad at her for selling to Larry and his group of investors. And as soon as that happened, if you remember, Lou Schweckheimer
I remember.
said, they offered him a position with them. He goes, "I'm not working for you guys." And he left. And he got another group of investors, and he bought a team down in Louisiana. They eventually moved to Kansas. I don't know, somewhere else. Unfortunately, Lou passed away from COVID-related issues. But he's like, "Nope, if it can't be me and Mike and the Pawtucket Red Sox, I'm gone. I'm out of here." And so he left.
Stuck to his principles.
He took a few people
Yeah.
with him
Yeah.
from the Pawtucket Red Sox as well.
Yeah.
Come with me down to Louisiana, and they did, and they were relatively successful. And so that's where people, if you want to blame someone, start with her, because she sold it to this group. If she sold it to the other group, they'd still be playing. In my opinion, still be playing baseball at McCoy Stadium.
Interesting. Has anybody ever, voiced that not concern, but that
No, I'm the
blame?
first one.
I'm gonna, okay.
No, I'm the first
That's
one.
the first time I hear it.
Well, that's because no one wants to blame.
Yeah.
Because
A
Mrs.
nice
Montes
little
is
old-
nice,
nice
the
little old lady,
little old lady.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
we don't want to. We don't want.
What about the lawyer? How about him?
Well, we
Her
don't know
lawyer.
him. He's not someone from around here. He's
Yeah.
just
Just
someone
doing
that
his
she had.
job, looking at the $50 million versus, let's say, using your
Yeah.
example, versus 40. Now, what's the commission or what's the fee?
Well,
it's,
yeah.
it's based on
He's going to get
percentage of what
he's
you're
gonna-
going to get.
He's going to get a third of it. So hey,
He was looking out for, yeah.
yeah. So
That's
he went for the.
Okay.
Mrs. Mondo, we're going for the highest price. Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting
Just a thought.
observation.
Thank you very much.
I didn't say. Notice I didn't say theory. I said
No, it's
observation.
an observation. You're right. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming up.
Yeah.
And this weather forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 50 degrees and a breeze from the west. Tonight, cloudy, then gradually becoming partly cloudy with an overnight low of 32. Tuesday's weather increasingly cloudy, high of 41 with a north breeze. Wednesday, a 30% chance of snow showers, mainly after 11 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies with a high of 36. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 36. Friday, mostly sunny and 45. Saturday, partly sunny and a high near 52. And on Sunday, a 50% chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies and a high of 56.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we do have sunny skies and 43 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
Hi, everybody. Dave Richards here on the floor at Family Discount Furniture. And I'm speaking with Brad, and we're in front of a two-piece sectional here that looks like it's quite versatile and very comfy. Tell us about it, Brad.
So this new collection from Ashley actually is a pick group collection, so we can customize it to any size or specs or dimensions that you have. Everything's reversible. The nice thing about this set, the cushions are all machine washable, so you can unzip the cushions, wash them, very easy to clean, very soft, good with kids, pets, very durable fabric.
Family life. And here in Woonsocket and the surrounding area, there's a lot of apartments that have smallish rooms. What if you have like a 10 by 7 room?
Yeah, so we can customize it by 10 by 7. You can make it as small as you want. You can make it as big as you want. So come down, check it out. It's on our showroom now, and it's on sale. Everyday lowest price guaranteed.
At Family Discount Furniture, corner of Social Street and Diamond Hill Road, here in Woonsocket.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hello, this is Manny Brando. I hope you will listen to us each Sunday morning at 8:30. I will sing your favorite songs, and my wife Virginia will organize everything.
That's right, Manny. It's the Manny and Virginia Show every Sunday morning at 8:30 on ON, AM, and FM radio.
It's Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Romeo Berthiaume. We did get a note that was called in, 766-1240, on a completely different subject. Trump is accepting quote-unquote job applications for 2024. Something they read on December 1st. I don't know what these are. And the hits just keep on coming. What does that mean? Changing Congress positions? Question mark. Donald Trump, a complete revelation of U.S. provisions. Still sounds like a dictatorship. Bottom line, he will still pay for January 6th incursions, but we are weak with Biden. Okay. I don't know what the accepting job applications is.
So, Melissa,
I don't know what that means, but maybe he'll hire George Santos.
He's looking for work, isn't he?
He's looking for work, yeah.
I never
Although,
thought
you
I'd
know,
see it.
Somebody made a good point, though, over the week. I was talking to somebody about that. And that's interesting. I never thought about it. They went after George Santos. They expelled him.
Yes.
He's the first congressman to be expelled without being convicted by a court.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
Now, the senator from New Jersey, Menendez, or what's his name? You know, the one who they found the gold or the cash.
Oh, yes,
What's
the
his
gold
name?
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's obviously he's in trouble, but nobody's saying anything about getting rid of him. You know, and so I'm just wondering if there's a double standard there because he's in the Senate. He gets away. I'm not defending George. Believe me, I think George should be out, and I'm glad they did what they did. But first one to be ousted without a conviction. That's interesting. And
But he's been caught in so many lies.
Yeah, but it hasn't been proven. You're innocent until proven.
But you
guilty
can
and
prove that his mother didn't die in 9/11, and you can prove that his mother.
I agree. I agree completely. But
And you can. I mean.
Yeah.
And
those-
where he graduated from college.
It
from
has
and
to
like
be
that.
done.
Right.
Yeah, but it has to be done in a court of law. You can prove it, but you got to prove
But
it in
didn't
a
he?
court of law.
But did he also? But didn't he admit to lying?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just saying he wasn't convicted. Okay, that's
No,
just an
no,
issue. And just a quick historical thing that I pointed out on my show on Saturday too.
Yeah.
I can't resist the historical things. There's an irony to this whole thing. The day that he was expelled,
Yeah.
coincides with the same exact date. What was it? December 1st or?
December 1st was Friday.
November 30th, whenever they did it. Let's
Yeah.
say it was Friday. It was the same date, the exact same date, except the year, of course, was different. 1954, when the U.S. Senate voted to censure, that's all they did, Joe McCarthy, for what he did.
All right.
And so I just thought it'd be interesting. Maybe they planned it that way. Let's wait until December 1st so we can say it was. No, I don't think so.
No, probably not. But
But isn't it interesting?
so
How
so egregious.
ironies?
I
Yeah.
wonder how much it had to do
Yeah.
also with the outcry of the folks
What's that?
who
again?
voted for him.
Yeah, well,
so
that's another.
embarrassing.
Right?
Yeah,
Who,
no.
you know, if you
Yeah,
you have all of these residents of his
Yeah.
district,
yeah.
constant. I can't imagine the emails. I get a lot of emails.
You do,
I can't imagine the emails on this. like
He
probably.
fooled his constituents, no doubt
Quite a
about
bit.
it.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm happy.
And now they have no rep in Congress for a
yep,
while.
now they have no
It's gonna wait 2 to
representation.
3 months before they get one.
Right.
Well, that
Right.
just happened in Rhode Island too recently.
Right.
Wasn't it? It took about 3 months to replace
It does. It
Cicilline,
takes
if not more.
time, and even that was a short race.
Yeah.
And when you live in a small state or you know,
larger
a
state.
low populated state where you only have 1 or 2 congressmen, that can be significant.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm sure, like in a state like New York, the state where Santos is from, the people around his district, the congressmen around his district, they will probably vote in the interest of some of the constituents, I would think. Only,
Yes, and I think
Right.
that other reps from
Yeah.
New York
Yeah.
were really pushing
Of
for
course
this
they
also.
were.
Yeah.
They were embarrassed and upset.
Yeah.
I am
Giving
too.
us a black eye.
But I just wanted to make that point though,
Yeah.
about maybe
That is the same
do,
day.
do the same thing to the senator from New Jersey.
Right? Well,
He
because
hasn't,
Huh.
he hasn't been convicted, so get him out too. He did some terrible things, and we know that when this case goes to trial, if it does, he'll be found guilty, and we know Santos will be found guilty, but you're innocent until proven guilty. That's all.
and perhaps
Yeah.
that perhaps his constituents are not crying out and saying, "Oh, we need to remove him." Is terrible. Like, they're saying, "Oh well."
The whole state of New Jersey are his constituents, as you know.
Right,
You know how
but
it works.
I mean, but
Only-
maybe they're not as vocal. That does sometimes have a lot to do with it.
That's very what we call apathetic, as opposed to pathetic. I used to tell
Yeah,
my
apathetic.
students.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Pathetic?
apathy.
There's only one.
There's so much apathy out there.
Oh, there is.
Outdoors. Oh,
There's
my
only one
goodness.
difference between the word pathetic and apathetic, and it's the letter A.
That's right, Romeo.
Good point.
Well, John Ward brought this up earlier, and the news came out at the end of last week with the YMCA here in Woonsocket closing.
Tragic.
I didn't
at
realize
December
that.
31st or January 1st.
You have a whole year to worry about this. This
No,
coming
you
up,
have- you
it's
have a
already
month.
closed. Oh,
You have a month
it's going
to
to
worry
happen
about it.
this year. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And they got the usual reasonings of higher cost to run the place and low membership and
Yeah,
and
waning
like that.
membership. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this against this YMCA. This is about against all YMCA's.
Yeah.
By the way, if you ever looked into it, the YMCA's used to be the low end price wise
Yep.
to go for athletic stuff.
So many people
And
learn how to
it's-
play basketball
yeah.
otherwise.
That has changed over the years.
I know.
And the Y has become the most expensive place
Could be.
in terms of gym membership, if you want to look
Yeah.
at it that way.
Yeah.
Now, yes, you can get discounted rates depending on your
Yep.
circumstances and
Yep.
in your money situation.
Yep.
But they were still pretty high, which
Yep.
is why you see the declining enrollment. This is just too high to belong.
Yeah.
Yeah, these big corporations came in and they're able to build big. You know, Planet Fitness, other big companies like that come in. They build big and they can do it for a lower cost.
Yep.
And
And
they
again-
can offer $10 memberships or
Yeah.
because they're a big
And again,
corporation.
it always boils down to money. I have to say, though, Joe, I was impressed with your suggestion about the Beacon Charter
You know,
School.
that just came to me
That-
while John
that-
was
that
sitting
was
there.
good.
But
I
not only
wasn't
the
thinking
Beacon.
about that. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the junior high? Is it that's right around the corner with them as
Founders.
well? Okay, the
Yeah.
two of them.
Yeah.
Now, not only just because the pool's there, and John said there's other rooms. Use it as a whole physical education
Sure.
building.
I would love to see a public pool. That would be
Well,
We
there's
can use the
great.
public school when
so many
it's
kids
when
don't
school's
right,
not in
could
session.
teach kids how to swim,
Yeah.
and I know that the Y
Yeah.
did that.
Or-
but the access to that
Yeah.
pool for kids
Yeah.
is really, really important.
Or
Yeah.
even the WED, the Woonsocket Education Department, should consider buying it, and I'll tell you why. Because then they could establish what they call a swim team.
Swim team.
And everybody would
Woonsocket
say,
doesn't
well,
have one, huh?
they'd have to travel to, you know what?
Well,
They've
yeah,
been-
they would.
All their
Wait,
other
wait,
teams have
hold
to
it.
travel also.
Yeah, they've been going. No, but they've been going to Barry Field for 100 years
Yeah.
to practice and play their
Yeah,
football
and
games.
that is far.
So what's the difference? You know,
At least it's in the city.
I think there's a lot of good ideas.
I
out
think
there,
there could
Tom.
be some potential. The closing
Yeah.
of the Y
Yeah.
is sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think there can be some potential.
One chapter closes, another one opens.
And if you do have a membership with the Y,
Yeah.
you can just transfer it. You can go to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Or the one down in Pawtucket.
Pawtucket,
They're
yeah.
all owned by the same company. So you can still use their facilities. And the McCall YMCA is very nice. The one in Lincoln. I don't know about
Yeah.
the one in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
But the Lincoln one is great.
Look,
And
Again, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Lincoln, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, they're all kind of controlled by the same board? maybe?
yes,
Yeah.
owned by the Pawtucket YMCA.
So there you
basically.
go.
Yeah.
But
One thing
yeah,
that's
it's sad as we
concerning to
closing
me.
in a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that's concerning to me is the loss of after-school programs.
Yep.
That
That's an
is
issue
a
too.
big loss
Mhm.
because there's not enough. I know the Boys and Girls Club is working on that and
Yeah.
expanding. It's
But again,
absolutely awesome and beautiful, but
yeah.
yeah.
They can
But
only
it-
take so
Vital.
many.
But it's up to the schools to rise up to the occasion and take over those after-school programs and use those buildings that especially are empty. From let's say, well, it depends on the sports, but most of them are empty from 3 o'clock on until the next day, and then vacation periods and summers. Put good use to the facilities that we have, and I think buying the pool would be a great idea for a school.
You just imagine what the Y is going to ask for it in terms of
Well,
price.
I'm
Yeah.
stealing your idea. The more I think, no, you brought the idea up about the school. I think
Yeah.
in general that's a great idea.
And you could always have almost like a co-op team. Have like the Woonsocket Beacon Charter
Yeah,
co-op swim team.
you could do that.
And so you have you have meets there and practice right there.
We could.
You know, there is money for the governor's 365
Yeah.
learning program that goes to specifically to community centers.
There you go.
So what a great way to have a community center, and then you can have everybody
Yeah.
swim there.
So you think the
know,
great minds out there
seniors,
have thought of this
kids.
besides us?
Well, I think a lot of people haven't heard the news yet, but
That's
you know
right,
what?
yeah.
I think I'm sure there's folks
Yeah.
behind the scenes that are
Yeah.
thinking about this,
Yeah,
but
they should
that
be.
would be a great community center, and it's right there on
Yeah.
Main Street.
What I've noticed, Romeo and Melissa, once I come up with an idea, if I come up with an idea, 100 other people have already had it.
Right, right.
So I think, someone else has already thought.
Is there really an original idea? Not really.
Right. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More is coming your way. Please stay tuned.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle all types of projects, from the simpler residential installations to the more complex commercial projects. They install, service, and repair. Garage doors are also an important facet of home and business security, since garages contain some of your valuable items like vehicles, tools, and small equipment. Visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com and see a gallery of designs and styles, as well as testimonials from their satisfied customers from many surrounding towns. Woonsocket Door Sales, 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland, 767-3448. Their reputation for sales and service is ironclad, just like their doors. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448.
Christmas in New York. The Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts is hosting a bus trip to New York City on Saturday, December 16th. We'll get you to New York, and the day is yours. See the sights, visit a museum, see a show, whatever you like. The day is yours. Tickets are $90, and the bus will leave from the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center parking lot at 5:30 a.m. For more information or to reserve your seats, email nrica@nrica.org or call Sharon at 401-767-7432.
Thanks, Dominic. All right, it is Coffee and on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthium and Melissa Murray. And Melissa, how did did you attend the Beer and Dynamite fundraiser for the Milk Fund at the Circle
I
Lauria
did.
on Friday.
I
How
did
was it?
It was very well attended.
Did you go to, Romeo?
I did.
Oh, great.
But I didn't see you there. You must have gone earlier.
Too well attended.
We're around 7, parked somewhere near Executive Auto. if you
Wow.
know the jet. No, I'm exaggerating slightly. Hardly any space. Nothing. No spaces in the lot. I finally parked along East Coast Street with my wife and hobbled into the hall and found out that the event was downstairs.
Yes.
Because I had never been there.
Oh,
and
okay.
it was jammed.
Jam-packed.
They made, according to Melissa, who was, the guest auctioneer on the Saturday show with me, she said they
You mean
had
Lisa?
no
Lisa,
idea.
Lisa, yeah.
Did I say Melissa?
said Melissa,
That's
yeah.
Melissa right here.
Yes.
Melissa, almost the
According to
same.
Lisa-
Lisa, thank you.
Casafaro, okay.
And she's doing a great job, by the way. And she was so impressed with the crowd, and she got some unofficial figures she wouldn't release, which I don't blame her, but
Okay.
she says they did very well.
Okay, good.
And I'm happy. And there's another event coming up, tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow
night.
is our celebrity
And,
bartending.
I purchased one of those
Yes.
martini glasses.
Oh,
that,
bring your own?
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah, but I can you put a Cosmo in those glasses?
I think you,
Sure.
you do put them in those
Yeah.
kind of
I
glasses.
might just
Yeah.
go and say, well, you guys do, but I know I may not.
Oh, boy, I
I'm
better
not-
study.
I'm not sure about
idea.
that as much as I'm definitely sure about Thursday's event at the St. Joe's Vets.
Yeah, the soup.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
soup for supper. What a
absolutely.
good
and,
event
you
it
guys
is.
are bowling next week.
That's this coming Sunday now.
That's a good day because Pats are off.
That's why we picked that day. We're
And
not
the way
stupid,
and
you
the way
know?
they're going, you
It wouldn't have
probably,
mattered.
You probably wouldn't watch the game anyway, or you tape it and watch it later.
I think you'd still watch it.
No, it'd be kind of hard. There'd be a lot
Well,
of
I
gutter
mean,
balls,
yeah.
a lot of gutter balls. But anyway, lots of nice events coming up. They're doing a great job, and of course, the auction's doing really well.
Yes.
We had an item that sold for it was a $200 gift card to the Capitol Grill,
Oh, wow.
and we got a bid right away for $300.
Rough-
So it sold out right
wow.
away.
Wonderful.
And, yeah. And the guy was from D.C. He was listening on the World Wide Web. So
Guess he's gotta
that
be up in
proves
this
how,
area,
how
huh?
effective that is.
This is great.
And so as a result of that, we did very well. And you guys are going to do well too. You are doing well. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
So keep raising that money.
How many calls do you usually get on a Saturday?
It's amazing. Last week the first week we got like 45.
Yeah.
And this past week we only got 32 or 33. I didn't get the exact number, but it was relatively slow. But we did well.
But it was fruitful. Yeah.
It was very fruitful. So again, thank you to everybody. By the way, one final plea, since we're on that topic. We're looking for cash so we can buy gift cards. If it's so much easier if you either donated cash, real cash, or if you just donated gift cards, go out and buy gift cards and send them to us, and then we auction them off. Because if you donate a check, which is good, it's made out to the Milk Fund Incorporated, but it has to go into a special account, and then it has to be reissued under a committee member's name, so that committee member can cash that check and buy the card. So it's a little complicated, but we'll take whatever we can get. But it's still relatively early. Today's the 4th, and you go till the 22nd. There's quite a few auctions
Yes.
left. So if you're listening out there and you'd like to help out, go out and buy some gift cards, even if they're $5 gift cards, $10 gift cards, whatever you can do. Or if you'd like to donate some money, you can donate cash, bring it in here, and we'll take care of it and give you a receipt for your tax man. And if push comes to if it's a check, we'll take it. We won't take credit cards, obviously, for credit cards. But thank you so much we've gotten a lot of support as we do every year. We appreciate that.
All right. Just looking at some of the other things that are going on newsworthy wise. Romy, you might agree with this, and Melissa, you and I are like, ready? Nearly half of Americans say achieving retirement security would take a miracle.
Yep.
According to a new study from Natixis Investment, 47% of participants said they would need a miracle to save up enough retirement funds, and 48% said they expect to face tough trade-offs in retirement, like living frugally. Over 80% of respondents said inflation is a big threat to their savings. The U.S. is ranked number 20 in terms of retirement security. Norway, Switzerland, and Iceland are at the top of the list.
I believe it. I heard a number the other day. Maybe you can verify it or deny it. I don't care, but I don't know if it's true. That this year, it costs every American family $11,000 more than it did the year before to keep up the same standard.
Wow.
If you're on a fixed income, you're in deep
Right.
trouble. Is that true? Is that number possible? That's like
it's
900
possible.
bucks, 900 a
I don't
month.
know that to be true, but
Well, if your electric bill doubled,
It's-
for
yeah,
example, or your food, go to the supermarket.
if
I
you're
would tell
if you're
you.
living on the edge,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and the inflation,
Yeah.
8%,
Yeah.
there's nothing to spare.
Or mortgages.
There's nothing left over.
Yeah, you can't even refi your house because why would you want to do that if you get a 3.5%
Right.
mortgage? Go for an 8% to get some cash? No, I
Right.
don't think so.
So, people are worried about staying in their homes.
Yep.
And it's a big issue. Now there's a housing
Yeah.
crisis.
Wow.
So say you want to become a renter, I'm not sure why you would, because the rents are sky high.
They
so
are.
it's like, then what do you do? What is your option? Right? If you want
Homelessness?
to downsize,
Yeah.
it's just a terrible
The
time for
average
everybody.
rent in Massachusetts, maybe Rhode Island too, about $1,900 a month. Does that make sense? I'm just throwing figures
Yeah, when you
out.
factor in Boston,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. And it's much higher in Boston.
No, but if you're on a fixed income, and what I just said is fairly accurate, where it's costing that much more to live than it did the year before, what's going to happen to those people? You're right. So I agree with the retirees. Generally are on a fixed income, unless they've invested their money when they were young, and they are doing really well.
On
But,
that,
most are not.
about the rent, skyrocketing rent prices in Providence are going up more than anywhere else in the United States.
Yes.
How about that?
In Providence. Yeah.
In Providence. The
Yes.
October rent report by online real estate company Zillow finds rents in Providence have shown the nation's biggest jump over the past year.
Yeah.
The average rent in Providence is $2,074 a month.
So it's even higher than what I said.
Yep. $63 higher than the national average. Wow.
Okay.
Now, according to Stephen Pryor, he's the housing secretary, he calls the numbers, quote, a dubious distinction, unquote, and points out that rents are shooting up all over New England. Pryor said Hartford has the second highest rate of increase. Boston is seventh.
Okay.
Do you think people?
But
do you
that
think-
doesn't make it okay to be
No.
first. And,
No.
and another fact,
That's right.
right?
No.
I get it. He's getting the heat for this.
Yeah.
But it's true. So we have the highest rents in Providence, and we have very high rents in Rhode Island,
So there goes
and
the-
we are also last in building housing, dead last
Yeah.
in the continental United States.
Well, then it comes down to simple economics. It's supply
right.
and demand.
So- right.
And because of that,
That's
prices
why.
remain high.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And they're
the
not
supply
going to
is
go.
low.
People aren't going to lower their rents,
Well, no.
even if no more housing is built.
So
Right.
I just have a question.
It's so
Both
frustrating.
of you. Do you think landlords who have owned property for years, all of a sudden they're raising the rent?
Yes.
Because it's inflation. They can get away with that. They have no real additional expense. They
Well,
may have a
their
higher.
expenses have gone up,
Wait a
too.
minute.
Their expenses have gone up too.
Taxes.
Yeah, but have they gone up to the point where, in other words, not only landlords, people in general taking advantage and saying, people aren't going to complain because it's inflation. It's inflation. No problem. Nobody complains about anything anymore because everything's high because it's inflation, and they get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have
There's
more.
nothing you can do about it, but
You
Go
have
ahead.
more people living together, more families living
Yeah.
together, which isn't normally a bad thing, right?
used to be that way.
It used
way
to be
back
that way,
when.
except
Grandparents,
they're
right.
living in like a 2-bedroom apartment.
I know.
With two families.
One
And that
one
is
bathroom.
Right. And so living together good, not having your own space and being
Yep.
crowded into a small place,
Yep.
not good.
Yep.
It's
Going to create more
yeah.
tension and more crime, probably. People will kill,
Maybe.
attack
because
each other.
you're
kill each other.
right. You're having to
You know how it is.
compromise
Yeah, yeah.
in order
Privacy.
to just be able to
Right.
afford to live, and
Yeah.
you're still not getting really by. Like you're not
No.
living cushy, right? And I
No.
think it's less the individual landlords than it is these folks,
Yeah.
particularly in Woonsocket,
And,
that have
yeah,
come in,
sure.
bought multiple units,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you have 100 units and you say, well, I'm charging market rate.
That's
yeah.
right.
If you've got 100 units, you determine the market rate.
You do. Yeah, we were charging only $1,500 last year. So let's bring it up to 2,000 now because Providence,
That's
that
right,
figure just
right.
right.
And
Yeah.
people will move to, try to move to Woonsocket and commute to Providence because it's cheaper.
Slightly lower.
And now, so we can offer 1,800.
Yeah.
And I've seen it.
Yep.
I just moved. Well, I moved back in
Yeah.
March. It took me 6 months to find a place in my district that I could afford, and
That's true. You're
it's-
limited.
and like I have access to a lot of things that people don't. So if me, with my privilege, took 6 months and couldn't find a place, imagine someone who,
Yep.
you know, like, and meanwhile is paying application fee after application fee, which is going away.
Oh, good. That's
We passed that bill.
good.
That was my bill to eliminate application fees.
So what's going to happen, though, in the long run?
We
It's just
need
gonna
to
continue.
build
I don't know.
more housing.
Yeah.
All kinds of housing, everything, not just single family homes, but like,
So the more you have, eventually it will lower the prices. Because there'll be a lot.
I don't know if they'll
supply and demand
lower,
again, in
but there
reverse.
won't be such a struggle for people to find housing and, you know, have to double up. And I even was in a local store and someone was talking with a cashier there. And, you know,
Yeah.
they probably don't make a whole lot of money, I don't know. But they said, oh, you know, did you find a place? And she said, no, my landlord raised the rent by $1,000 and I had to get out. So right now, my husband and I are living with friends.
Yeah. Wow. I believe that.
And
I
she
do.
was probably in her 60s. So that's
Probably,
what
yeah.
you're doing right now. That's what people are doing.
And you're
All right,
talking-
we have
I'm
to
sorry.
we have to end the show. So we
Okay.
can go on and on and on. But
Yeah, the
Melissa
big-
Murray,
Yes,
thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Sorry to end on such a sour note, but that's
okay.
reality right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, and Romeo, thanks for coming in today.
Yes, looking forward to the auction this afternoon at 4 o'clock. You and Dave.
That's right. Milk Fun Auction, 4 o'clock this
And-
afternoon here on ON Radio. And I'm Joe Callahan. Don't forget Tiki Bar tonight at 6 as well. Stay tuned. Leslie Page at the library is coming up. And Food First with Karen Zangari on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A certified nursing assistant was assaulted Thursday night at Rhode Island Hospital.